So welcome to the remnants of Start of Weekend in Iowa City. Yeah, this is good. This has been a fun weekend. This has been an interesting experience. We are now at the final presentations. We get to all that work we've been doing all weekend. Finally get to see what everyone learned over the course of the weekend. So, yeah, my name's Jay. You all know who I am at this point. I want to go through. Let's meet our guest judges. So, maybe we'll start with Devin.
Hi, I'm Devin. I do taxes.
Hey, Devin.
Tom Altman, fractional executive on the technology side.
Hello.
Eric Weidel, CTO and co-founder of an organization out of Chicago, Trucking and Logistics.
Nice to meet you.
You guys all know me.
I thought you were judging.
I always judge. Sometimes silently.
He's been the secret judge
The
all
secret judge?
weekend. You thought he was helping, and he was really setting us up. Yeah.
So these are all members of our Brain Trust Plus. Tom, have you introduced yourself to everyone?
I think so, but Tom Powell.
So Tom, we swapped Tom out. He's not judging this weekend, but next year. We got you for next year. So
Secretly judging us all.
yes, so this is what we're going to be going through. We're going to have these 5-minute presentations, 5 minutes of Q&A. These are the criteria we're looking for this weekend. So 3 different areas: validation, execution and design, and business models. What does that mean? Validation. Did your team get out and talk to the customers? So did they actually do customer discovery? Are they actually solving a problem? And has the team identified a specific target market? So that's validation. Execution and design. Do they have some sort of prototype, MVP, wireframe, something, some sort of solution that they've developed? And then design matters. Is that product easy for them to use, or easy for the customer to use? The business model. How do they plan on making this a successful business? It's like, okay, you've got this great idea. How is it more than just you doing stuff on the weekend or a side hustle or a hobby? So how is this going to be an actual business? Are they actually solving a problem? Do they have that value proposition statement? And is the idea unique? So each team will present their idea. They'll come up here for 5 minutes, give their presentation. Judges, you will have 5 minutes of Q&A time. The judges will then select the top team. We are having one winner. It's Highlander this year. There can be only one. And we're going to celebrate afterwards. So I know there's some nervousness, there's some trepidation. We're going to go over to Joe's rooftop after this. So we'll be okay. So we started out with 4 teams. The reason I have Zoom on is one of them may pop on. They are feeling under the weather. And so I said, you know what, if you can zoom in, that's fine. Otherwise, don't worry about it.
Cracked under the pressure.
They cracked. I know. That's what I said. There could be only one here survivor. So this is our pitch order. We've got an Enduring Legacy first, and then Polly Pocket second, and Spory third. So
That's a good name.
with that, we're going to do the pre-standing ovation, the thing we always do over at Merge. We brought that over here, so everyone get on your feet, and let's welcome Enduring Legacy.
All right. Okay, I guess the clicky do thing. Oh, hey, it's actually gonna do fancy
is gonna do the
things.
thing.
I forgot that I have fancy things.
There you go. Got
Okay.
5 minutes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, interesting fact. The low estimate says that $40 to $60 billion goes unused in potential charitable giving. This is according to AP News, Double the Donation, Well Aware, and a large number of other organizations that are letting people know that unrealized donor intent is not happening. There are $230 billion in donor-advised funds on an average year, and only about $52 billion of that is actually given to nonprofit organizations. Billions in corporate matching is left on the table, whether that's an individual not knowing they have the ability to match their gift with the company not sharing that, or someone giving and not actually getting that match. And then there's unused tax credits. So a lot of the times what's happening is people have the ability to give money in order to receive tax credits, but they don't do it. That's where an Enduring Legacy comes in. So I am a philanthropy consulting agency focused on the problem that people want or need to make a charitable gift. There's all this opportunity out there, but they don't know where to start and they don't know how to do the research on where to give. So yesterday I went out, I talked to 17 different people. Of those 17, 15 had donated before. Most of them small, most of them to GoFundMe, local organizations, PBS, St. Jude's. Small amounts. But when I asked them if they had ever taken pause on giving to a nonprofit organization before, 15 out of the 17 said they had. There wasn't enough information out there. They felt like there was potential bureaucracy. How was the money being spent? They were unsure and uncomfortable with moving forward. Of those 17, 14 said they needed more information, but they didn't know where to get it. One I interviewed in the library, she was comfortable with research. Everyone else, not so much. That was on me. So, an Enduring Legacy supports individuals and families who want to donate to nonprofit organizations by reducing giving paralysis and helping them establish a plan. When I was looking at this, I developed a number of services that could benefit this. So when I'm looking at consulting, I'm looking at doing that one-on-one with an individual or a family, helping develop curated giving guides, providing them with strategic guidance, nonprofit coordination, impact assessments, and more. My go-to-market plan is to first go to financial advisors because more often than not, they're the ones making the recommendation that an individual should be looking at a charitable donation for tax benefits. Next is tax accountants who are doing the same thing, and then estate lawyers who are looking at the beneficiary side. A lot of the times individuals are interested in adding someone to their will or as a beneficiary of their 401k, but they don't know where to start. Next step could be mass market, and that's looking at online services, app development, certifications, accreditation, and looking at evergreen income coming in, such as going forward and allowing people to do this type of service work, everything that I've listed here, without the one-on-one consulting, but just having it go through. I did a competitive analysis. What I found is that an Enduring Legacy is the only organization with value-based giving, personal guidance, long-term legacy planning, emotional clarity in giving, impact awareness, and the ability to identify giving in honor of people or in memory. Financial advisors, a little lighter colored. A lot of them can do something along those lines, but usually not that in depth. They're not able to actually give recommendations. Tax accountants and CPAs, places like TurboTax and H&R Block, none of it. Charity Navigator and GiveWell, these are online platforms that can meet a little bit. They provide some information on value-based giving as well as impact awareness. The closest we get is with donor advised fund providers who can do some investment-based giving. Financial projections. So I looked at one of those. I looked at my first go-to-market plan. I looked at financial advisors. What you can see is, if we go to the big picture, there are about 30,000 clients in the United States who go to a financial advisor. If I were to work with 1% of them, providing a service at $1,000, that puts me at 30 million. If we look close to Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, about 300 clients, 300,000. Again, looking at 1% of individuals, and that is me. So I am Emily Zimman. I am the founder and CEO of an Enduring Legacy. We help people give smarter, engage deeper, and create a legacy worth leaving. Ta-da.
All right, judges, you got 5 minutes for Q&A.
Yeah.
I would like to know what your target audience is. Like, you know, there's some big dollars, big pockets out there, and then you go to a lot of people with kind of smaller pockets.
Yeah.
So like, what's your kind of target?
My target is mainly individuals and families who are having a major life change, right? So someone who is retiring and they're getting a payout. Maybe they established a business and they're looking at selling it. There's someone who wants to invest because they're looking at making a major gift somewhere. They're not just looking at those small donations, which is why, again, I went with 1%, because a lot of the times those are the individuals going to financial advisors to say, hey, something huge is happening here, I need help. So, does that answer?
Do you have a dollar figure in mind?
For
Like just kind of
for
that
individuals? I
set
do not.
target? Okay.
Mm-mm. No, because my fee for service, I'm looking at around $1,000, so that's pretty accessible for most people. So it's really going to depend on where they are interested, like in making that investment, or whether they want to take that on themselves, or they want to lose money in taxes, or just let their money sit in a donor advice fund. Yeah.
Thank you.
So no, thank you for the question.
So
Go ahead. No, go
Fight
ahead.
it out.
You said 30,000 people use advisors.
Yes.
Is that the state?
So if we go back and look at it, so 30,000 in the United States is 1%.
30,000 is 1%.
Yeah. So there's about 30 million clients total that use a financial advisor in the United States. Sorry, the numbers in yellow are specifically the 1% that we're looking. So like Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, for example, there's about 100 firms, about 500 advisors,
Okay.
30,000 clients. Yep.
So, on your services or offerings, there's a handful of those. Is there MVP, tip of the spear, one that you would lead with of those?
So what I'm looking at with this is actually that as a package. So when someone would come to me, the
Okay,
service is
all
what
right.
they would get. So one-on-one consulting to learn where their passion is, what their values are, how they want to give. From that, I developed a curated giving guide by providing strategic guidance. I can do coordination with nonprofits and provide impact assessments. So it's kind of a group service from the
Thanks.
consulting side. Yeah.
And then on, when you were looking at like, the financial advisors and some of the, are you looking at then, is that kind of a B2B to C? Like, are you looking for them to refer their customers to you?
Yes, yep, I'm looking at them as a referral source. So, from what I understand, because financial advisors are unable to give advice on where someone should give, they can have the conversation but not say like, hey, you should support this specific nonprofit. Having them say, I have someone who can provide this service, here's the referral.
Do you have any friendlies that you can prototype with?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Absolutely, yeah. And I in fact have one person I talked to the other day before I had done this, and I was like, I'm building everything, but I know this is where I'm going, who is interested in buying a few of the services to test with their clients before making referrals out. So, would you like to ask a question?
I would.
Yeah.
To build off Matt's,
Yeah.
and that is, what is, you're thinking about actually approaching the market with this? You've got a few friendlies, but what about after that?
Yeah, so marketing is gonna be a huge piece of this, is getting in front of financial advisors en masse. So whether that's going to conferences that they're at and setting up tables, or just reaching out, having the goal, eventually a team that's helping reach out to get in front of more people to build that market out from the corridor. I'd like to get to the point where it's a national offering that I have, before moving to like the mass market side of things. So in the works, but that's the goal, is to get in front of as many as possible.
You're focusing on those advisors though, rather than actually trying to find the individuals themselves and approaching them?
Yep, correct. Mainly because although that could be an opportunity for me, I think that's a much harder market to get in front of, because that would be a lot of curated advertising or different things along those lines. But even then, the person has to make the decision to sign up for the service. And when they're working with a financial advisor or tax accountant or estate lawyer who's saying, hey, I recommend you use this service because of your specific point, I think my return on investment and like rollover from referral to client will be higher.
So for the $1,000, what do I get?
Yep, so you get that full service. So the one-on-one consulting, so sitting down for an hour of doing discovery, providing you a curated giving guide. So I would learn about like your values as a person, your passion, and I would provide you with 3 to 5 nonprofit organizations that I felt matched that, and also matched the impact you were looking at making. From that, I would provide strategic guidance on where I thought you should give and how you should give, whether that's becoming a major donor, a monthly donor, an anonymous gift based on, again, your values, and then provide the coordination. So the warm handoff, the ability to say like, hey, here's this individual who's interested in giving, they'd love to sit down for coffee and learn more, provide that, or be the intermediary at all times, depending on the person's interests.
So it would be kind of a one-time essentially interaction. We wouldn't be talking in 5 years again, or every month.
So completely optional to the person. Most of this is looking at that one-time opportunity, and then maybe next year you're like, hey, my values have changed, so I'm coming back. For individuals who want the opportunity to have an intermediary at all times, then I'd be looking at a retainer-based service.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Talking for 5 5 minutes is a lot longer than I
I
was
know,
gonna be.
right? Hopefully-
We had to do 1, we did 3, we did, I know, but the first part.
Polly Pocket's up next.
I was
All
like,
right, everyone on your feet, let's welcome Polly Pocket.
Okay, hey everybody, we're Polly Pocket. We are a political engagement app, to put it in a nutshell. The problem we found via customer discovery is that people. Yeah.
Well, you can keep it.
No, that's your side.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So we talked to I think about 12 people yesterday. The problem that we ran into was that incumbency is at record lows, but incumbency is at record high, voter satisfaction is at record lows. So this shouldn't happen. People are frustrated with it, but they admit that they don't engage in politics as much as they believe they should. And the reason they cite is that there's too much noise. They don't have one good source of truth to go to, and there's too many opinions. Next slide.
Our solution is Polly Pocket. It is an app/platform. Our goal is to make awareness and engagement between politicians and their constituents easy, accessible, clear, and bring accountability to the table, which several people cited as a concern for their elected officials. Who's holding them accountable? So picture this. This is kind of like an overview of our vision here. We have your constituents. We're all affected by our elected officials' decisions, whether we pay attention or not. So in our app, people will sign up, be a member, and then we have a team of lobbyist curators who monitor the agendas, what's going on from the national to the local level. They input all these upcoming votes and decisions, and then the users can vote on those decisions, and then the elected officials on the other side can see what the constituents are voting on live, and then can maybe compare what their thinking is on that particular vote or issue, and compare it against their constituents, the people who elected them to represent them.
So the way we see this getting off the ground is we would start by advertising on social media. That's where a lot of people said they get their political news from anywhere, or at least where they follow their elected officials, like what their elected officials are up to. We'd have to do fundraising through grants and donations, probably like every other political organization, in modern times at least. We'd have to hire some researchers, probably with like some kind of parliamentarian background or lobbyist background, so they can look at the daily agenda of an elected official and figure out what are possible actionable things that they could put on the app that the constituents would be able to vote on. And then we have that content pushed daily, because hopefully our elected officials are actually doing something every day. In-app advertising to secure like a safe revenue stream, and a pro version for campaign organizers to have like a political profile for the candidate, things like that.
Yes. So our go-to-market plan is our MVP is this visual representation that we're naming a rep rating, where people, when the data we get from the users, the constituents, gets compared against the actions of the elected officials. So let's say someone is voting to legalize transparent underwear, and they vote no, but all the constituents, the majority voted yes. You would be able to see that. That's just a random example. Right? So our lobbying team is the ones who's gathering this information, inputting it into the app for the people, the users to engage with, and then we get those results in a nice visual chart. And that's where the accountability comes from, right? Someone can easily go to the source and say, well, this politician is totally out of line with their incumbents or their constituents. There are some sites out there that do similar things. Government sites have information on all the votes and things. What sets us apart is the live constituent input and the comparative data, which is basically the rep rating that we have as our MVP. Thank you. But we all have one common goal, which is accountability, transparency, and information. Our team, Bryce, is our developer/founder. I'm the sales guy, help connect campaigns and users with this. And then we need a lobbying team, people who know politics, who are willing to be the boots on the ground at all these buildings, and then they create content, they gather information.
So the financial projections, or at least the key metrics to monitor, are the number of users on the app, how much time they spend on the app, and the number of elected officials that we can get their agenda into the app. We'll have some one-time costs. AI will help bring that down a lot. We have ongoing costs. The main one is is paying the researchers who basically produce the content. There'll be some small hosting fees that will be there. Offset these by an ad revenue stream that again is highly dependent on number of users and time spent in the app. And then the donations and grants will be necessary to get off the ground. And then this is an example of what one of such decisions would look like. And that's us.
All right, judges, you have 5 minutes.
State, federal, local, who are you trying to hit first?
I think what would be most viable is start with like a kind of local pilot program. Hopefully we find an elected official who wants to make accountability their platform. And hopefully as it works, then we can recruit others and ideally like just build a movement based on accountability.
So picture someone who's running on, hey, I have a great rep rating. That could be a selling point for their campaign.
Yeah, I could see that, especially if somebody wins because they're saying, look, vote for me, and I'm gonna be using this tool, real-time feedback from you. They win, and then you've got a great success story. So.
I think it'd be really powerful if suddenly elected officials realized that it was incumbent on them to check this app and figure out what their constituents think just before they vote, rather than knowing constituents will have to deal with the fallout after it happens. If constituents know that the elected official knows exactly how they feel en masse before the vote, I think that might change the dynamic a little bit and might change how elected officials approach decision making.
Curious on some of the things that might be related to engagement or the voter side of things on the app. How are they expressing scoring or feedback? Is it like Likert type scale type stuff? Is it just thumbs up, thumbs down, or are they providing text?
Yeah, so this is really rough. I would envision something that allows them to basically like have a multiple choice questionnaire. So they have specific itemized ways that they can say, here's what I want you to do. It's not a simple like vote yes on this, vote no on this, because the decisions faced by the elected official might be more complicated than just simply voting yes or no, and that's what this tries to illustrate. But what we didn't put here is they might also have like a slider for like how strongly I feel about this. Right. Someone might go through and fill out everything and be dutiful in that sense, but it would be kind of misleading if that person skews it without
So that's what I
much
was like,
actual care.
the equivalent of like almost a heat map that they could see.
Yes.
That like this is really
Yes.
intense, and there's either like broad divisions among people I represent on this, or this seems like a no-brainer. Everybody is passionately for, passionately against. But was just curious on what the interaction side of collecting data.
Yeah, so we're envisioning several of these in a day, basically. And like I said, you have specific choices. It's not revolving around open-ended feedback, but we would like to have that as part of it as well.
And of course, it depends on user engagement, which right now there's 0 users. But
Right.
It seems like there's a lot of data that's there with the voting information and the constituent information, like at the government site. So help me understand why you guys, what your thought process was around, having the team of people inputting that information, because that seems like data that's kind of out there right now.
So that data is out there after the vote happens.
Mhm.
It's difficult to obtain that data, or especially what could have happened beforehand. When I say what could have happened, does that make sense? Like in this scenario, let's say this goes to debate and then it passes in debate. And so what you might see on the government website after the fact is this HB whatever passed. But what this app would show you is that not only is there another question like this when it's up for passing or not, but there's also, do you want to keep it in in committee, or do you want to amend it before it gets voted on? And that stuff is not captured.
And it might be out there, but people
Not
are
always
looking for it.
captured.
And, you know, if people see the results at the end, and the goal of this is to get people engaged in the process,
Yeah, or before it.
or before.
A lot of that data, I guess what I'm trying to boil it down to is a lot of that data is available after the vote happens, not before. Any other questions?
That's about it, so, thank you.
Thank you, judges.
Give the judges a second here to jot down a few notes.
Full-fledged.
Alright,
Much
we've
better,
done 2 of 3.
we offer much better product.
Here's our third one.
Yeah, we'll see, I think the story's much better than.
Glory.
Get one last swing. Let's do this thing. Alright, everyone on your feet for Splory.
Hey, so this is Splory, and I want to tell you that every journey does tell a story. So in the current world that we live in with children, parents, where there's battles over screen time, what activities they should be doing, boredom, kids aren't going out and about, they're not engaging with as many of their friends, or their friends are just on their phone, right? And just the stagnant amount of just the same content, just a different color, different spin. It's essentially a void of information. And what I want to provide the opportunity for is the future of play. New thrills to discover, guilt-free. I don't care that you're using your phone because what you're about to see. Actually, I like this picture a lot more. We can go back to what the other value prop is. The idea, if you guys ever seen Pokemon Go, which was just an AR toy, ever heard of geocaching as well? This is like the exact same idea in terms of just like what you would see on your phone, right, from an AR perspective, but this is truly like, what is this story? Kids can go out into their neighborhoods if they're just like, I see the same sidewalk every single day, but they can actually create their own story. Meaning, maybe you have a daughter that really likes princesses, right? They can actually help get her ready for a ball or something. You find it in her head, you find her wand, which was kind of bad, but all the stories will be obviously kid-friendly to begin with from a proof of concept perspective, and those can all be auto-generated, or parents can make their own with them, right? And the idea of combining AI and augmented reality allows you to create what are the custom items that will be engaging and exciting for the said kids. So to my point of the value proposition, it does re-transform your local town. If you're down here for the block party, you can have a custom event, right? Just something different instead of people just staring at their phones, maybe they're not even engaged. And it encourages physical exploration. More and more kids aren't going outside, and that's just the reality of it. There's so many more comforts inside. AC, games. Obviously, business model is just kids walking around having fun, adventure, subscription fee. And really, you have to just partner with what are like the hospitals that are the hospital schools, libraries, like anybody that actually has like engagement, and then tons and tons of just word of mouth conversations about this, right? The idea is also you can work and run the story with your friends, joining on like the same party, going on the exact same adventure together. So once you start seeing everybody else doing something that you like, that's cool. So I did some competitive analysis recently. There's a game actually, Goose Chase, which is a scavenger hunt, which is similar to the idea, and then obviously Pokemon Go, but Goose Chase is purely a scavenger hunt. Like they just randomly just have like an item, maybe just like pops up somewhere, and it's like there's no like direction, there's no story, there's no adventure, yes and no. Where are you gonna try and move on and whatnot. Financial projections, those just like the subscribers, most people can just kind of guess that maybe if you get like some word of mouth, 500 to like 5,000, or yeah, 500 to 5,000 typically. But if
the other thing. I didn't even put the $4 in. I was planning on having it be a $4, like what is the subscription fee? Maybe it'd be like $5, $6 for if it's like a whole family. And then just so that everyone in the family can actually play on the same thing. We're not gonna Netflix you about adding an extra $10. And the reason that I set it at $4 is pretty much the New York Times costs that much for a month, or going out for a thing of coffee. And the idea is because it's AI generated and stuff, is like just being there. You shouldn't be punishing the people to explore and go out into the world. Is my opinion. So that was my exploring time. And any questions?
Judges, you have 5 minutes.
Did you come up with the word phygital? Physical, digital, phygital.
No, it's actually a term online.
Ah, dang.
What do you think in terms of software or technology development?
In terms of technology and development, I haven't honed in on like given tool set yet, but I've played around with very similar tools. It's just whatever is going to be the most effective practical means. Like obviously it needs to be hosted in like a cloud, Google, AWS, those kind of things. Obviously it has to be in an app store, so they have entry, but under the hood, nothing very specific right now.
You said that you were kind of building these stories.
Yeah,
With
I was
AI?
I was going to initially in the original proof of concepts is there's so many just regular kids books, and the idea with the ChatGPT or like a AI generated version of it is you can literally make kind of like a Dr. Seuss book. Nothing needs to make sense. Now there's two fish over there, like kind of thing, or it could be like that, or you can just have it be more like yes, it's this traditional Disney princess story, just random items, move it along. But another portion of this is actually, it's supposed to be chapter based. So you actually continue on like almost the same game for like a month, and so there's gonna be consistently new like content from like just a basic thing. So maybe it's Halloween themed and those things.
I just was curious if you were thinking anything that's somewhat personal or you know,
Yes,
gathering
this is personal meaning
Like,
I can make it, or like my
family,
dad
like
makes it.
information, whether it be like topics that Matt likes, so that when he's doing his stories, they're based on the things he likes, and when I'm doing.
Yes, I had intentions of being able to make it more Mad Libby
Yeah.
in the sense that you could start with the princess is searching for a shoe, or yes, he might like burst the coffee cup or something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, make it more applicable to what you want, and that's part of the whole exploratory aspect. You are supposed to be able to choose something different to find in your backyard or just downtown.
Mhm.
Like if you were to do it, and the whole point is like if you're doing stuff downtown too, just being able to go sit to the old cap or just doing something different than just going to the playground, just going to the one fountain. At least just do a lap that's engaging, and then you can still go back.
Interesting. Any customers, oh, sorry.
Oh,
You keep raising your hand and I keep talking, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It's typical, let's keep going, I like it, it's good.
What customer engagement or customer service did you do?
I actually went down to the playground and to the library and talked with a number of parents, both fathers and mothers of different ages. And Iowa City's good about getting their kids more out into the playground and and whatnot, but you know, it's not necessarily always a traditional sense of that way, but they really like the idea of being able to be engaged in doing something with their kid that could be exciting, since they could do just like two different things, or one, it's like they're going on their little story, it's something to share, it's something to like go with. And people did bring up the whole screen time thing, and actually recent studies show that it's not the problem about screen time. It's about what the practicality of said screen time is. Just because you're looking at a tablet but you're doing pictures and you're coloring and stuff, that's not really just staring at Bluey or, right? So it's about like the engagement, and all honesty, if you're using what is the AR, it's mostly just a camera. This is just a window to just like what the world is. And so it's supposed to be able to just guide and enjoyable. Did that answer your question?
So, curious with, we talked about, a little bit of AR and AI in this. Just wondering about safety with kids, like,
And that's where
are you
some
bounding over, like, I'm thinking about the physical area that,
Yes, so what I was planning to see in the app primarily is, if we'll go with a wizard or a princess, right? There's a map, and you could actually, because it's supposed to be around geolocation things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like you literally can just like zoom in on your address and be like, this is just the download map, and that's period. Nothing ever leaves this.
Like, you could fence it.
Well, you can do that already on your phone with Google Maps. You just zoom in, you just download the map. You don't even have to be on the internet anymore for it to know that this is just like the spot anymore. So you can, that was a concern, just to make sure that people aren't just like wandering randomly places. Obviously, if you're doing it in like downtown area, then
That would- yeah,
that's
that
parents and
was-
stuff, that's a different idea.
part of my concern, like, some of it might be, like, the next step is go grab the princess hat. It's right across the street, it's right across Burlington, and, if you have kids then are looking at their phone rather than traffic.
Yeah, that's not, there's plans on, I know that there's means for tools to pull that kind of just general information of, is this a road, is this a forest, is this stuff, like, just through like the APIs of stuff.
Yeah.
So that might be an opportunity, because you just have it where like, bing, hey, it's a street, remember, check both ways, and, teaches you stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and part of it, I was just thinking, because like if you use Strava to create cycling routes, right, one of the things you can look at are almost heat maps of where other people have gone, so like what might be safer or more successful, but.
Oh, absolutely. It's I've seen there's some more exploring
Yeah.
to do, but I thought it was an
You mean more
interesting idea.
exploring?
More exploring?
Yeah.
That was honestly the first thing.
I think with
I
that,
know,
we gotta
there was
wrap
this-
it up.
Right on. All right, where do we huddle?
That's it, so judges, you all and
We have
I,
to convene, right?
Do you want us to leave?
no, you all stay up here, we're gonna head down to the podcast studio.
You just let us know how our
Yeah,
constituents.
go scream. If they're down there screaming,
Yeah.
no one will know.
Back on.
And now, there can be only one. There can be only one winning team. So, drum roll, please. The winning team this weekend. Enduring Legacy. Good job.